Hello, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and I got another question that came into my YouTube account. And sorry, I don't have your name here, but maybe I left it off because of the question. He says that he's playing Final Fantasy XIV, and he has been introduced into the game to some third-party currency sites, and he just wants a little bit more information. And he says, what is their business model? These sites provide services such as currency, items, and even power leveling. How much money do they actually make? Do people actually buy the power leveling service, or is it just to take the money in the account? And it'd be interesting to see how they actually make money. You know, here's the interesting thing. So when power leveling first came out, and currency sales and stuff, there was an enormous amount of money to be made in the markets. It was a new thing. The people that figured out the technology on how to coordinate all the gathering of the resources in the games and then reselling them for money, and how to not take fraud and everything, they did a pretty good job, and they were able to make, in many cases, 50-60% in the beginning. Then as the markets matured, the percentage kept going down, until I know that some sites that were doing this were making only like 10%. And it's because the competition keeps getting greater, and the barrier to entry into that marketplace keeps getting lower, and more people are able to set up business and start doing these services. Well, when they you get all of this other competition in there, the price lowers, the margin lowers, and so there's both it's primarily just margin lowers. You see other things that happen, like you can start getting more gold for your dollar and things like that, but it's not the that is just a side effect of the economy as a whole within the game, and not necessarily part of the whole lowering of the margins. Now, what I saw happen at the beginning was the beginning ones were honest business people that were looking to make an honest money. Then after that, what started to happen is we started to see some other companies pop up that had lesser morals. They didn't have the same ethics and everything of the very first companies that popped up. And so what started happening is that they started buying resources from hackers in the game, from botters, and then they would do other things too, like instead of having a human power level your character, they would just run a bot on the character, and so chances are you could get banned. Well, chances are you could get banned no matter what anyway, but in that scenario, you know how often bots are banned, and sometimes bots are banned done in waves, and so let's say they were working on an account for 30 days, and then 30 days later a ban wave comes through and you're caught up in that, and you're like, what the hell just happened? Well, you were banned. Lots of birds out this morning. They're all flying around. I'm looking at all, there's a whole bunch of ducks over here, and sandhill cranes over here, and those other ducks that just flew by. This is a good time of morning to be out here filming. It's really great. And look at that. Look at that house across the lake there. Look at that. Now, that over there, that is not just them turning on lights. That is actually the sun coming up and starting to just crest over the horizon over there. So anyway, so as these margins get lower, they get more and more competitive. They have to do more and more things to make a buck, and the ethics lower. And so what you end up having is a lot more companies that they draw people in with the low prices, but then they make money on other things. And so they started doing things like when they were power leveling, you no longer got to keep the currency that was on your character. They would then take that currency and they would sell it off to make additional money. Maybe resources and everything as well. And then other very nefarious things like selling lists of account logins and passwords like 6 months after the fact, after the power leveling is done, when you wouldn't associate, that maybe your account getting hacked has anything to do at all with the power leveling you had done 6 months prior. And so, and then of course not all of those are good. A lot of people are smart enough to change their passwords. There's a lot of people who don't. It's really incredible how many people use the same password on everything and just figure that that's just the way that they do it. And so, oh my God, look at this. I told you that the sun was coming up, and here's, let's see here, just some giant sun rays over there. I don't know if I can actually pick that up on camera. But yeah, it just looks really nice. That's pretty neat. Anyway, sunrise, such a great time to be out here. And look at the houses over there lighting up and everything. So anyway, overall, the whole power leveling business, they have to have other things, the power leveling, the gold selling, all of that. They have to have other things in order to supplement the falling market prices. And so these are all things that are not talked about. They're known in the industry. This is why so many people have so much problems after they've had power leveling or bought gold or any of these other things that give them any sort of extra access to your account. It gets pretty iffy on these things. And so they sell all this stuff, your information, and then get this. So, okay, let's say that your login and password, let's say your login, well, maybe it's just even a name, like, just your name or whatnot, or your character name, or it's your email address or whatnot. They will then take the other games that come out in the future, and they will start trying using your login credentials from, Final Fantasy 14, or let's say that you had power leveling in WoW and you've been using the same login and password that you used in WoW throughout the years with all your other accounts, and you wonder, why am I so freaking unlucky that I keep getting hacked? And you just can't figure it out. Well, it's because you're using the same login and password. So I used to be a big proponent of services, legitimate services, like power leveling and everything. I thought it was a pretty fascinating area. I supported some of that in the past, and I thought that it was generally a good thing for the players, but because of the ethical issues that have happened with all the different companies, it's just no good. And get this. So nowadays, it used to be whenever it started, and you're here, like, let's say you're in the United States or in Europe or whatnot, it would be a local person that was in your language that was doing the work. Now, what happens is they just collect in all the accounts and everything, and they farm them off to China or the Philippines or some other place where the cost of hourly labor is very low. And so it's not only this company that you're doing business with that is now involved with your account, it's the other companies that they're working with as well. So there you go. That's how I think it's working out, and that's why I think that there's not very many, there's not really any legitimate ones left that I know of, because even a lot of the ones that were legitimate in the beginning, they're gone now because they can't compete. So they either had to go illegitimate, or they had to just drop out of the market altogether. So I hope that answers your question. I'm Marky Dragon. Take care.